Good morning, Guardians. The Hijabi Gamer here, and it is Friday, which means Zur is back in the solar system. He's brought some decent goods, brought to you, of course, by the Corpus, because we provide the best weapons possible in any video game, except Borderlands. No, those are brought by the Corpus. Anyway, it's Friday. Zur's in the tower. I have a kitten in my lap, so things might be a little choppy. His mark is at the stairs, which means that's how you know he's in the tower. You see that purple mark? That's how you know he's in the tower. As usual, the reminder that this is obviously Destiny 1. So Destiny 1, Zur is only in the solar system for 48 hours. He arrives on Friday at 5 a.m. New York time. I'm not sure how this affects by daylight savings time. I always forget how that happens because it happens anyway. He arrives at 5 a.m. New York time on Friday and departs on Sunday 5 a.m. in the morning New York time. Anyway, we are heading to the left. Minnie, your nose, don't use your nose to push buttons. She's learning. Yes, she's learning. Look, Minnie, look at the Guardian. And we're heading towards the big door. He's got some decent stuff. My apologies if I'm a little away from the microphone. Again, kitten in the lap. Yesterday I saw a dog that was smaller than my kitten, which is hilarious because my cat is a child cat and that is it was an adult dog. And the teeny tiny little dog was smaller than my child cat. Anyway, big door. Zur's right over here. First off, he's got one of my favorite weapons in the game. If you don't have this one, you absolutely need it. You must pick this up if you don't have it, all right? That is Zhalo Supercell. You need Zhalo Supercell. If you don't have it, this is your chance. This is your opportunity to pick up Zhalo with Shock Hazard. Shock Hazard is an ornament. That isn't as important. What makes Zhalo Supercell such an amazingly wonderful weapon? First off, that's the ornament you get. Shock Hazard is the one I usually use. What makes Zhalo Supercell an amazing weapon for Destiny 1? First off, it is a primary weapon and it does arc damage. That alone makes it a must-have because this is Destiny 1 and primary weapons usually do not have element types. So it is rare exceptions that do. Most of them are adept raid weapons. There are a few exceptions that do not require you to do a raid to get. Zhalo Supercell is one of them. The majority you need to do raids. Okay, even Necrochasm, which technically isn't really a raid weapon, you still need to do raid to get the weapon, all right? You have to get I'm trying to remember. I think it's like parts for the weapon. Zhalo Supercell you can just pick up from Zur, okay? So it's an arc damage auto rifle and it is just awesome. All right, first off, you have right over here Zhalo Supercell. Arc projectiles have the chance to chain lightning when enemies are close together. So basically just chains of lightning all over the place, which is amazing, especially when you have Cabal all trying to mob in on you, and then the Cabal, you can't shoot through their shields, so this is just an amazing way to get past those shields. You just see electricity all over the place. It is awesome. All right, and second, you have here bolts from the blue. Double kills with this weapon charge a smart amount of super energy and return ammo. I mean, just think of it. It's an arc primary weapon. It can chain lightning. It charges your super and it returns ammo to the magazine. I mean, this thing is just exotic perk on top of exotic perk on top of exotic perk. This is the sort of weapon you would see in Warframe. All right, that's one of the problems, by the way. I keep saying this, the problem with playing Warframe. You look at the exotics now in Destiny and even Destiny 2 and you go, huh? Basic weapons in Warframe are more exotic than the exotics in Destiny. I'm sorry, Bungie. I'm sorry, Destiny. But Arcoplasmor. And that's not even mega awesome weapon. I just like the Arcoplasmor because the Arcoplasmor is a Corpus weapon. So, and the Oma. Okay? But this is a real exotic. This is the type of exotic that laughs at all the other exotics, all right? Primary arc weapon, chains of lightning, charges your super, and returns ammo to the magazine. This is a beauty. You need it. If you don't have it, you probably have not even realized why you've been feeling depressed for the last couple of weeks. The depression you feel is caused by the lack of Zhalo Supercell. Zhalo Supercell, once you put it into your inventory, will make you feel happy. And then you go out and you do missions with this thing, and it will make you even happier. Zhalo Supercell is the cause for happiness in life, okay? Risk Runner is not even as close to Zhalo Supercell. All right. Next, we have Invective and Iconoclast. And I have said this before, Invective is one of those weapons that I feel does not get enough attention. At least when I was playing Destiny 1 and people were actually making content for Destiny 1, very few people spoke about Invective. Now, what was it? It was Iconoclast. I like it without any of the ornaments, but this ornament is okay. It's decent. I like it. Maybe I'll pick it up because I have a ton of silver dust. I call this one here the Visa ornament. It's okay. Anyway, Invective is, I always forget the name, and everybody keeps reminding me the name. It's that sniper rifle that creates ammo. I think it's the Black Spindle, but I always forget. This shotgun creates ammo. This weapon can be fired in full auto mode, right? And then over here. This weapon regenerates ammo over time. Now, people have told me it's because they nerfed this thing and that it is pretty slow when it comes to regenerating ammo. Yes, they're correct. It's not as fast as I would like. All right? But it still regenerates ammo. Okay? I have used this back when Destiny 1 was bigger and people were playing more of it in the Crucible and have gotten kills with it because it gives me special ammo. Okay? That's why it's awesome. Like I said, I know it's been nerfed, but I think this thing is still, especially when you think about it, if you have something like Juggler in effect, which is, ammo doesn't drop for the weapon you are carrying. This will regenerate ammo for you. So I feel like not enough people are talking about Invective. Great weapon to have. Not as good as Zhalo Supercell, mind you. Just if this thing were like on the level of Zhalo Supercell, it would regenerate your melee ability, regenerate ammo, and probably shoot out napalm canisters or something. But this is still a good weapon to have. Absolutely, you need it, but not as good as Zhalo Supercell. Zhalo Supercell is just one of those weapons that I carry with me at all times. There are a couple of weapons I will always carry with me. One is the Ace of Spades, one is Zhalo Supercell, one is Red Death and Monte Carlo. Always with me at all times. All right. Next, we have over here the Patience and Time. This is This is a decent weapon. It is a sniper rifle. This weapon causes arc damage, obviously. Okay, this isn't mine. I'm just using the ones that are selling to give you this. That's Third Eye has always felt to me like a meh perk. All right, it's okay, but I mean, I think the only time Third Eye really is an advantage in the Crucible. But in general, if you're out in the field, you can kind of live without a radar. I've noticed that I have difficulty playing any other PvP because I get used to the radar in Destiny. But this is the thing it has. Patience and Time. You gain active camouflage while aiming down the sights. Unfortunately, I timed out, but I think 2 weeks ago I was running a Nightfall, and I was basically invisible. I should have used this as well. But oh, right. No, I couldn't because there was exposure. Never mind. But this is great. You gain active camouflage while aiming down the sights. I mean, it's not a mega... It's not on the level of Zhalo. There are a few exotic weapons that are as exotic as Zhalo. Zhalo is just above and beyond exotic to the extreme. But this is okay. It's not like some of the more pathetic weekly ones where you look at it. I mean, Suros Regime. I like Suros Regime, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of Suros Regime. But the perks on Suros Regime are meh. Mida multi-tool. Also, the exotics on that thing. I like the Mida. I think I'm even carrying the Mida right now. All right, because I like the rate of fire and whatever. Mida, but when you look at the perks for the Mida, would you call this thing an exotic? It boosts move speed and fires on a hair trigger. Ooh, golly gee, wow. It makes me faster. That's it. Okay? That's a disappointment. That's not a real exotic. Zhalo, on the other hand, when you shoot that thing, you feel exotic. just see the arc projectiles all over the place. Yes. So some of them, you look at them and you think, why the hell are you an exotic? You're not worth the waste of space. All right? I'm sorry, Mida. And you can see I usually carry Mida as well. I got Mida right here. So I like the Mida, but I'm sorry, Mida. You ain't that good. Suros Regime is another one. I used to use that thing all of the time until I got Genesis Chain, because I like the rate of fire to impact ratio. Once I got Genesis Chain, which is exactly the same as Suros Regime, I dumped Suros Regime. And I even like the ornament on Suros Regime, because it's not that fancy and exotic. Alright? Like I said, Warframe ruins you when it comes to exotics. Now you look at Destiny exotics and go, huh? I picked up a better weapon from the Corpus last week. All right. See, that's why you know these stuff comes from the Corpus, because we give you our junk. All right. Legacy Engram. Don't pick it up unless you have an excess of strange coins, because it'll probably give you a year one item, which, if you're still early on in the game, you really don't. And don't waste your time. Anyway, next we have Immolation Fist. Grants Explosive Pyre. Now, I don't remember what that is, and I'm running through the game as a Titan. So once I get level 40, I will definitely be trying this out, because I'm loving again. I am falling in love all over again with Solar Hammers of Solar Death. All right, so once I get my Titan to level 40, I will go around experimenting with these Titan exotics, okay? I also have a Warlock on Xbox, and once I get it to level 40, I will start experimenting with the Warlock exotics, okay? And then I can tell you more about it, but that sounds just explosive, okay? Explosive Pyre. Next, for the hunters, this is a good one. It is the Capri Sting. The only reason I don't use it very often is because, dear God, look, I'm not a cosmetic person, but that thing freaks me out. I am sorry, but Massive Bug creeps me out, okay? Yeah. Okay. Gain invisibility after crouching in place for a short time. Okay. Melee attack an enemy from behind while invisible. Delivers 4 times the damage. Melee attacks apply a lingering damaging effect. Okay, that's great. That's very good. I like it. Especially if you're running Invisible Hunter. Which, again, I was running a Nightfall and invisibility was great. I was going through the whole thing just invisible. Okay. So, yeah. The thing is, I tend to use more Don't Touch Me's. Excuse me? Which are these over here, which taking damage from a melee attack makes you briefly visible. So the other one, you have to crouch briefly to become invisible. This one, if anyone just strikes you with a melee, you go invisible, which is great for the Thrall section at the beginning of Crota's End. I should use this one more because it's actually decent. As I said, it just creeps me out. I'm sorry, but it creeps me out. That's a giant bug. That is a giant bug. Okay. Finally, we have the Void Fang vestments for the Warlocks. All right. Spawn with a full grenade energy, and your Axion Bolt grenade spawns an additional Seeker. All right. That sounds cooler than the Titan one. So we're going to put the Hunter at the top because invisibility is always cool. I need to get back. Like I said, I am playing a Titan and a Warlock on the weekends. Primarily a Titan right now, but I do have a Warlock on Xbox. Trying to level them up and get to the top of the chart so I can then remind myself how these exotics work. Because I really don't run Titan and Warlock. I tend to run Hunter, and I prefer running Hunter. And Hunter is more fun to me, but then I can provide better information about the exotics. Anyway, I have a kitten who is being naughty, but she's gotten big. I also have Monster Hunter Wilds, so that's cool. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I said, you need Zhalo. If you don't have Zhalo, first and foremost, go pick up Zhalo. Absolutely pick up Zhalo. You will be happier because you have Zhalo. You will suddenly develop a spring to your step, and people will look at you and be like, why are you in such a wonderful mood? And then you can be like, I got Zhalo Supercell. It's all worth it. It's Zhalo. Just think of Zhalo Supercell, and you will be happy. You will be happier for it. I remember getting it, actually. The first time I got Zhalo Supercell, I got it from Zur. People don't believe me, but this happened twice, where way back when I was playing before Destiny 2 came out. I went on the Bungie.net. Maybe they were paying attention. Maybe they weren't. Maybe this is an automatic thing. Maybe they were actually paying attention. And I begged them to put Zhalo Supercell for Xur to be selling Zhalo Supercell. And 2 weeks later, so it wasn't that week, it was the following week, Zhalo Supercell was being sold by Xur. Same thing happened again a couple weeks later when I asked them to have Xur carry the Don't Touch Me's, because I wanted to solo the beginning of Kurdo's End. And a week, like it's not that week, the following week, Xur was carrying Don't Touch Me's. Maybe it was coincidence twice in a row. Maybe they actually were paying attention to Bungie.net back then. Now I don't think they know it exists, because I don't think most of them even play Destiny. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with other people, hit the bell notification because I'm going to do what everybody else does, and I hope to see you in the tower.